What's going on, everybody? I'm Brandon from Walker's Woodworks. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since we did a project video, so I figured I'd jump on here and do something real quick. You know those robot vacuums that are all Wi-Fi and all that stuff, and they go around your house clean for you because you're lazy? We have one of those. Ours is a Shark. I think the Roomba was the original. I don't know. Anyway, our cats keep trying to ride it, and it's messing it up. They don't even pay a fee or anything. They just think they get a free ride. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is build a garage for it essentially. I haven't really seen anything like this online, so kind of designed my own out of my brain. Got a little bit of a unique design that I'm gonna try to put into it, and also double as like an end table because I didn't just want like a box there, you know, look kind of weird. So multifunction. Let's jump into it. Before we get into it, I want to address the elephant in the room. Yep, I used to have a saw stop, but now I have a DeWalt contractor saw. And I'm gonna make a video on why I did that. But I also got into kind of some fitness stuff, so I had to make room for that. And the shop just kind of got consolidated to the center because I have that as well to work on. But I haven't really figured out exactly where I want my miter saw to be yet. So I think I'm actually gonna put it on a mobile stand so I can wheel it in and out. I think that'll be good. Yeah, I know, I'm gonna get comments about the saw. Sold my saw stop, bought this. It's mobile, so I can move it out of the way, and this one has really good reviews, and I don't really need the saw stop because I'm not gonna be doing any like heavy woodworking or fine woodworking per se. Too much, more DIY stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the build. So if you guys followed the channel very long, you know I love alder, and that's what I got here today. Went and picked it up this morning. I got one piece of 8/4 and then a bunch of 4/4. I'll overlay something on the screen here so you can see what we're kind of gonna be doing. I designed this in SketchUp. It's just gonna be, like I said, an end table, but it's gonna have a little shelf cubby thing. And then on the very low part is where the vacuum's gonna go in. This particular one has a back on it, as you'll see, and it empties itself, which is crazy to me. The way technology is going, it's nuts. Anyway, so I'm gonna get these cut to length and we'll start the build. Got a very rudimentary setup here for my miter saw. It's just on a little table that's been over here. And I got my dust collection hooked up, and it's running over here and through the table and into this that you can't see, which is cool. There you go. It's a Dust Topper Pro. It's a new version of the Dust Topper. It's got a gasket on it. Goes on the bucket, works pretty good, and that's attached to a big shop vac. First boards I'm gonna be cutting are for the top. I need 3 of them at 7 inches, or 2 at 7 and 1 at 6.5. I don't know, I'll have to look. But I know they're all gonna be starting out rough at 25 inches, so we'll get 3 of those cut. Now I'm just gonna run through my cut list and cut all the rest of them to length that we need. All right, I got everything cut to width. These are gonna be for the top, these are gonna be for the back, and these are gonna be for the bottom shelf. The back of this is actually gonna be open, so you can slide it out and empty the container that it empties itself into. And then these are gonna be for the slatted sides, and these are gonna be for the legs. But I still have to cut everything to width, so I'll move over to the table saw, which I have not used yet, so we'll figure out together if it's good or not. I hear from everybody that it's pretty good. That's why I chose this one. So let's see. Safety glasses. Searching, searching, found. Oh, it's got a push stick right here. That's cool. Gonna need that. The breaker didn't like that. It's because I have the saw and the dust collector hooked up to one circuit, so I guess we're gonna have to change that. I was concerned about that and failed. Oh, it was not the breaker. It's the power strip. Huh, okay. That's gonna get real annoying. Okay, we're gonna fix that. Well, other than it tripping the breaker on the power switch, it did pretty good. That was 8-quarter Alder. Didn't slow down too much. Obviously, it's going to slow down a little bit. It's not the 3-horse saw stop I'm used to, but I think it's going to do fine. Now, I'm going to get all these other boards ripped to width and then continue with the build. Now I can start gluing stuff up. I'm going to start with the top, and then I'll do the bottom shelf and the shelf back, false back, whatever you want to call it. Gonna have to do something a little bit different on the legs. There's a spider. His name's Jim. We'll call him Jim. Gonna have to do something different on these. I'm gonna cut dados in them. So just picture on each side a dado the size of these boards. These will slide down in and be glued in, so it's actually a joint, not just like screwed together. It'll look a little cooler and it'll be stronger. Not that we need it to be that strong, but just want to try something different. And we can use that table saw to do it. It's been a while since I glued anything up, but I did not forget to wax my clamps. You can also use tape. I guess you use painter's tape on them a lot. But wax works good too. Glue doesn't stick to them then. And the wax is way cheaper. So get these waxed up. I'm not gonna use biscuits or anything because these don't I don't need it. That's not the right one. Shelf back, shelf. Okay. Somehow I have labeled them incorrectly. This one's for here. Pretty sure. Oh, I also sold my domino, so you won't be seeing that anymore. I wonder if this glue's still good. We'll find out. What have you guys been up to? Let me know down in the comments. It's been a long time. Built anything cool? Anything like that? To be honest, I'm kind of excited to get back out in the shop. Taking it less seriously this time, so the videos are not going to be as stressful, hopefully. We'll see. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see. Types of projects, tips and tricks videos, whatever. I would like to know, and I will put that into the to-do list to get done. Yeah. Next. So I had to kind of figure this out off camera because I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do. Like I said, I'm going to cut a dado in here, and then that way I can insert these down the line and space them out how I want them. These are 13/16 boards, and I don't want to plane them down because like I said, they're already planed and nice. So I just kind of went offset a little bit. So it's 3/8 on one side and 1/4 on the other, whatever the heck it is. So to cut this dado, I do have a dado stack, but for 2 reasons. I'm lazy and I don't want to put it on. 2, I don't know if this saw will run it very well. And I definitely don't want to try it on a 13/16 dado. It probably would not go over very well, and the arbor probably doesn't handle that big of a dado anyway. So what I'm going to do is what I did before I had a dado stack. I marked the end here, and then I'll set that up to where it'll cut right on that line, and I'll make a note of where I'm measured at on my saw, and then I'll just slide it over an 1/8 inch, make a cut, slide it over 1/8 inch, make a cut, which is the blade width, or actually it's a thin curve, so you can tell. And then once I get to the other side, I'll make a note of where I'm at there, write that down, and then I don't have to keep checking. I can just grab the other leg and do the same thing and make the dado. So let's see how it goes. I got my blade height set to the depth I want, which is like 1/2 inch or so, whatever I said. So yeah, let's just do it, see what happens. It's been a while. How many of you guys were yelling at me saying, hey, why don't you just do them all at once and you don't have to move it 400 times? Well, I figured that out about halfway through this one, okay? not a good planner, right? That's a little too big. Be fine, I think. So don't go so big on the next one. Maybe I'll cut a new leg because it's a little big. I'm gonna do all 3 of the other ones, but I'll do them at the same time instead of moving it so many times, you know? Yeah, you get it. All right, I got all the dados cut. Fits good in all but one, but we don't talk about that one. The only thing I'll have to be mindful of is one side is thicker than the other, so I have to make sure the thick side is on the same side, outside, on both sides, so it'll look correct, you know? So I'm dry fitting all this stuff up just to make sure it fits together good. I was trying to think of what I can use for spacers, looking for little pieces of the 1/4 inch, and then I remembered, I don't know if you guys watch car content at all, but Derek over at Vice Grip Garage, huge channel, probably my favorite YouTuber, honestly. He recommended using drill bits for spacers because, you know, they're exact size. So I got 2 1/4 inch drill bits here. You guys go check out his channel if you haven't already. It's hilarious. But anyway, I'm going to just drop these in here and then I can use those for spacers. Oh, that's gonna be a nightmare to finish. Yep. Yep. Can you see me? Yep. I thought ahead for once in my life, and I think what we're gonna do is sand and pre-finish these because getting finish in that 1/4 inch slot and down in there would be a nightmare. I'm gonna use Rubio Monocoat, and that would just suck. So we're gonna do that. I guess we're not gluing these up right now. This is how I work, you know, I start just thinking about things as I'm doing them and changing my mind halfway through, which is very productive. Nope, it's not. I got the Merca out. I did not sell this, and I will never sell this because I love this sander. Works amazing. So I'll get these all final sanded and then get the Rubio put on there, and then they can dry. Okay, now I got everything sanded, final sanded, and I'm just gonna use some air to blow it all off. Probably should like wear a mask. I feel like I should be trying to be healthier-ish. Make sure there's no spiders, and is that like an irrational fear that I have, or do you guys have that too? You always look in your masks. I feel like if I just put it on, there's gonna be a spider hanging out and just lay eggs in my brain, you know? Don't want that. Okay. Now it's really dusty in here. All right, so I'm gonna mix it up. Thought I didn't have any pure, but apparently I did. So $60 I didn't need to spend. It's expensive, but it goes a long way and it works really good. It's easy to apply. You want the pros and cons list? Cons, it's expensive. Pros, easy to use. Don't have to sand that high. 180 grit. It's easy to apply. Doesn't take much. You don't have to worry about it being dusty in your shop because it doesn't matter. So that's fun. Cons, you have to mix it. You don't have to, actually. I think if you just use this without the catalyst, it just takes like 2 or 3 weeks to cure. And with the catalyst, it takes a week or whatever, few days. It's not that big a deal. And I found out that it's not critical to be exact with the measurements. I just do because I have a ton of these. All right, I got all the pieces finished. It took a little bit more than I thought, but not a lot. I did not put any in the groove at all where they're gonna sit in. So the glue will have just wood to attach to and not have the finish to try to compete with. And I tried to leave it back a little bit. The other good thing about Rubio is I can come back later and just put more on and it'll blend right in. It's not gonna look different at all. So that is another pro for using that type of finish or any type of oil, boiled linseed oil based type finish is gonna do a similar effect. So I'll let this cure overnight. I'll be back tomorrow. See you guys then. All right, it's the next day. We're out in the shop. Got the door open because it's pretty hot on here already. Got all these pieces that are finished and cured. So I'm gonna get these glued up and then we'll start sanding on the other panels. Wow, that was a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. Didn't plan ahead enough, I don't think, but got it done nonetheless. Luckily you guys are on time lapse with no audio, so you cannot hear the words being used. Definitely not PG. Anyway, those are gluing up, so I guess I can start working on the top and the shelves, get all the glue scraped off, get them sanded, and I guess I could finish them. Don't see why not, at least the top. So we'll get to doing that and catch up with you guys in a minute. All right, now that I got it rough sanded, I'm gonna trim it to final length and then final sand. One downside I've found to the DeWalt already is it's not big enough to cross cut this. And I don't have a sled for it anyway yet because the rails are different sizes. So maybe I'll have to build one of those. But for now, I'm just gonna use my track saw and get this thing cut final size. It's made by TSO products. It's a square you put on your guide rail. Kind of cool. Clamp her down. Then it auto squares it up for you. If you guys are interested in this or anything else I'm using in this video, as always, I will link them down in the description below for you guys to check out. It's an affiliate link typically, so it helps me out a little bit. So if you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do it. Appreciate it. Now I'm gonna get to sanding on the rest of this. Got the top final sanded and the bottom shelf and the back of the bottom shelf. I'm gonna go ahead and finish all these right now while that glue is drying. Because I don't need to do any more work to them, and all I'm going to do to attach them is pocket holes on these, and then for these I'll use the Z-clips or tabletop fasteners. I'll show you guys those in a minute. That's what I used to attach all the tops to everything I do. It's been a couple hours. Those are curing. Figured I could take these out of the clamps. It's pretty warm, so that glue should be pretty cured. And then I can touch up all the spots that need to be touched up. And if there's any spots that need to be resanded for any reason, I can go ahead and do that. I was kind of worried about the clamps making indents, but they didn't. It's not falling apart, so that's a plus. And then can let it cure overnight, come back tomorrow and get this thing put together. All right, it's the next day once again. I'm excited to get this thing put together and put it to use. I've been messing with it a little bit. So I got one side here. I'm trying to figure out where these are gonna land exactly. So I got this, it's gonna be the bottom shelf, and then this will be the one that goes to the top. I still need to drill pocket holes in these to attach them to the sides, but I wanted to get kind of a dry fit on here to see exactly where I need to drill the pocket holes. This one doesn't seem to matter too much because it's gonna land right on this board. Luckily, because I didn't plan that. Should have. But I wanted to see where I need to drill the holes for this one because I didn't want to end up with a screw in an open slot, you know what I mean? Gonna go ahead and mark on the back side. Don't see the back side anyway. Sure, somewhere in there. So let me get my pocket hole jig set up and get those holes drilled. Sanding sponge fits perfectly under here, keeps your board flat. This is not a professional, okay? Sort of. Probably not the correct method. I feel like I need another person. It's very close, sure. Except for this is backwards. It's fine. It's fine, everything's fine. Same, 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 same. Probably good. Something like that. Got the top kind of centered on there. I'm just gonna go in here and mark where I want to put a couple tabletop fasteners. Hey, I didn't put the pocket holes to attach this to this, but I guess I'll just shoot some screws up through the bottom. It's not going to really hold anything. I just kind of wanted it there for extra support. Anyway, get back to this. All right, so I got my biscuit joiner out. If you guys have been following the channel very long, you've seen me do this method a bunch of times, but for those of you that haven't, this is what I do. I got a mark on here for tabletop fastener, TTF. It's basically almost all I use this for anymore. But what happens is you put this on there, plunge a hole, blade comes out, makes a little spot in there, and then these tabletop fasteners, if you haven't seen those before, look like this. You probably can't see it because it's probably blurry, but that's the tabletop fastener, or Z-clip some people call it. And what will happen is this piece will slide into the slot you make with this, and then you screw this to the top. And what that does is allow movement, wood movement. Not that it's going to have a lot anyway. I just like to use these. They're easy and they prevent any issues like that. On the outside though, you need to make sure you pull them back just a little bit so it's not all the way up against there, so that way there is room for expansion and contraction. And then like on this piece, you'll just push it all the way in because that's where it'll be anchored in the center, and then it can go back and forth. So get a few of these put on, and then this thing will be pretty much done, except for I need to touch up the finish. Crap. Oh, if you guys want to see other non-conventional uses for a biscuit joiner, I actually made a video on that. I think like 4 or 5 ways to use a biscuit joiner that's not normal. I'll link that down below so you guys can check it out. If you can, and it's a small enough piece, the best way to do this is flipped upside down. But if you're doing like a big table, it might be a little harder. I don't know how much this you guys are going to be able to actually see, but essentially this just goes in here. Like I said, pull it out just a little bit, and then we can sink a screw in, and that'll be what holds the top. I'll also link these down in the description below. Like I said, just like everything else I'm using in this video, so you guys can have an easy, quick access to them if you want to use them. Bit is pretty worn out. That's pretty much the idea. Like I said, I'm going to go through and touch up some of these spots, and then I'll meet you guys in the house and we'll see if it works. Sorry the lighting in here is so bad. Don't know where my box lights are. Look at that. Fits and everything. Psh, don't even know it's there. So yeah, basically it just is a garage for the robot vacuum. And then when we need to empty it, just slide it out, pull out the container, empty it, slide it back, good to go. Hi Lola. You're ruining the shot. Stop eating my mic. You're ruining everything. Well, now I got a multifunctional piece of furniture. That's pretty cool. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and also what you want to see in upcoming builds. I always like to know what you guys want to see, because that's why I'm doing this, basically. Also, if you guys want, check out the description. Like I said, everything I used in this video will be linked below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you on the next one. Hello. Oh, go check out this video right here.